Hey there, welcome to LSAT Demon Daily. I'm Ben Olson, that's Nathan Fox. Together we're the founders of LSATdemon.com and our weekly podcast, Thinking LSAT. Today we have an email from Jay.
Hey guys, so I have to make a deposit for my seat prior to the April 1st deadline for one of the schools I have been accepted to. This deposit is around $400. However, I am on the wait list at Cornell and Columbia and would potentially consider attending those schools if accepted. The problem is I will find out after I place a necessary deposit at a school I have been accepted to. Is there a way to push back the April deposit deadline? I do not want to waste $400, parentheses, the seat deposit is not binding. Is this my only option? Do I have any other options if Cornell or Columbia do not inform me of their decision prior to April? And that is coming to us from Jay. What do you think?
I would do at least two things. One, I would ask the school for more time to submit your deposit, and I would reach out to Cornell and Columbia and tell them that you're in the process of making decisions and you'd like to hear from them. I am curious, though, whether you really want to go to those schools, because I can't imagine you getting any scholarship money there. So are you planning to pay full price if they do end up accepting you? And if so, why? We're talking about saving $400 here, but you could be making a decision that's going to cost you over $200,000. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad you're worried about this money. I think that's smart, but I don't want you to be so worried about this and not focused on the bigger picture.
Yeah, in my book, waitlist basically equals denial because I just don't think you're going to get a scholarship off the waitlist, and I don't think you should be paying money to go to Cornell. I don't think you should be paying money to go to Columbia. If you can get into those schools, then you can get scholarships at slightly lower ranked schools, and I think that your long-term financial outcomes are going to be better if you just don't make wild speculative investments, which that's what it would be. Paying money at Cornell, paying money at Columbia is a just insane speculative purchase.
Hey, I just had a realization. If you get a full ride, do you have to pay a deposit?
Yeah, I just was seeing some emails from Matt about that, or maybe it was I think it was in our Slack discussions. Matt pushed back on, I think it was Maryland actually, because he ended up on a full ride at Maryland. But he's like, wait a second now, I have a full tuition scholarship. Why do I have to pay a deposit? And what they told him was, oh, that's for fees. So your fees were not included in your tuition scholarship. What's the difference between tuition and fees? Whatever. It's just
that's like when you buy a car at the dealer and they're like, oh,
totally.
yeah, we have a dealer fee for $600. You're like, okay, let's just call it what it is.
Part of the price of the car.
Yeah. Margin for your profits.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's just, yeah. So anyway, frequently full tuition scholarships don't include fees. And apparently that's the deal. Yeah. He has to still pay. Matt said that it's like, a couple $1,000s still every year that he's having to pay for these fees. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Oh, well,
even that sounds expensive. You're going to pay. Does anyone spend? I mean, that's like the cost of going to a pricey gym, $2,000 a year.
Yeah,
pricey.
I would think that's quite a nice gym. Yeah,
very nice. Yep.
Yeah, or that's like your cell phone bill. Like that's like Verizon with a brand new iPhone for the entire year.
Yeah,
that's $2,000.
You better hope it's worth it. If we're worried, like if that sounds like a lot of money, you're like, oh, the fucking fees. Well, don't forget the hidden cost of taking out a loan. Jeez Louise. Anyways, Jay, you didn't tell us what school you were applying to or what school demands this deposit, but presumably hopefully you're going for free, and it's just under Cornell or Columbia. And so the answer is going to be just end up going there.
Yeah, politely, professionally ask them if you can push back that seat deposit. You know, the other thing is if you don't pay the seat deposit, they could immediately withdraw their offer. My guess is that they won't.
They'll probably follow up with you.
Yeah, I think they're gonna call you. People are horrible at their jobs, so they're probably gonna not follow up for like a month. You know?
I mean, you run the risk of them when you follow up with them saying, "Hey, wait, what? Sorry, you're out."
Yeah,
But
you could just go silent on them. You know, like if you don't think any of these offers are so good that, like, really, they should be knocking your socks off, or you shouldn't be going at all. So if none of these offers are really that good, you could just like not say anything, just not do anything, and just wait and see what happens.
I'm worried that Jay doesn't have enough applications out there. We're
Oh,
talking about this one school and then these two others that were waitlisted.
I'm worried about Jay for many reasons. We've gotten many emails from Jay, which thank you, Jay. You email daily at lsatdemon.com. You know, anytime you want to ask us questions, we appreciate it. We need fodder for our bullshitting. But thank you for trusting us and asking us for advice. But you know, in a separate email, we had Jay asking. It was like Jay was asking some questions, and this is going to be a separate episode of the Daily. Pushkar is going to like run this other episode about Big Law, because Jay was asking like, what's the maximum amount of money that I could possibly make in Big Law, and but also at the same time asking about barely squeaking into schools, right? So that's the part that I'm really concerned about, because if you think you're gonna like squeak in off the wait list to Cornell and then immediately be on the gravy train to a $200,000 a year starting salary, I just think you're mistaken. I think that they will. I mean, it's possible, but those schools they're gonna sell you on that upside when the downside is much more certain.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it sounds like Jay is focusing on the best possible outcome and ignoring the huge cost. That's like the worst calculation you can do. You want to focus on the huge costs and consider the the worst outcome.
And at the very least, you have to do a sort of a probabilistic determination, right? You have to like say, okay, well, I've got a 50% chance of going into Big Law and a 25% chance of going into Big Law for more than 3 years, right? Because I mean, that's true too, right? 50% chance of getting the job. Okay, 50% attrition rate over the next couple of years.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Okay, so let's say 25% chance of Big Law for 3 years or more, plus 25% chance of Big Law for less than 3 years, plus 50% chance of never getting a Big Law job at all.
Yeah.
And calculate how much money you're going to make under those three, like the way you do that analysis as an economist is you take 25% times how much money you'll make if you stay in Big Law for X years. Then you take 25% times your money that you'll make if you're in Big Law for 2 years. Then you take 50% times the $60,000 a year that you'll make if you end up in any other kind of legal practice.
Yeah.
And then you calculate, okay, so here's my blended, like expected income. Then you have to weigh that against the certain $300,000 that you're going to owe if you pay full price at these schools. You have to do time value of money calculation, and you have to figure out whether you're making an investment that's going to pay itself off. My guess is that it's not. Like, unless you are certain that you're going to practice Big Law, you just should not be paying. And in any case, you don't have to, because you could just go to some other school for free instead of paying Big Law money.
Yeah.
It doesn't appreciably lower your chances of working in Big Law. Anyway, Jay's worried about the $400 seat deposit, right? But it's like, well, I think you need to be more focused on the hundreds of thousands of dollars that you might be about to waste on tuition.
Yeah. Thanks for writing in, Jay. Hopefully that's helpful. Email daily@lsatdemon.com if you'd like to ask us a question or share some LSAT or law school admissions news. Thanks for listening.